My violent friends, welcome to the most violent main event of 2026. This one is for everyone. I don't care which fan base you're on, if you're a fucking full-grown Aussie JDM enjoyer, or are you a fighting nerd affiliate. Carlos Prates with a complex and dangerous Muay Thai death touch power on display in this bout. I'm going Carlos Prates, okay? A true pick'em fight. A legit coin toss bloodbath waiting to take place. The nerds on Tapology slightly favor JDM, but Prates is not far behind. 52%, 48%. We even have 1.3% picking Jack Della Maddalena by sub. That is the ultimate hope and cope, but you know, it could happen. You know, Leon Edwards got this man's back. Will Prates be submitted? No, he will not. He's probably going to smash up JDM, because JDM, guys, has not fought a striker of this caliber. To quote the wise words of perma-baked Nick Diaz, you ain't fought no hitters. Jack Della Maddalena has really fought no hitters when you really break it down. Meanwhile, the Nightmare is the ultimate hitter in the UFC right now. I think we see a Carlos Prates masterclass. But I think this fight's a banger. Like, Jack Della Maddalena crashing forward, utilizing the high guard to stay safe, getting in the chest of Prates, ripping body shots. But as soon as Jack gets momentum, Prates steals it back with his classic death touch. We're breaking down the full card, but if you want more of a in-depth fighting style breakdown of JDM or Carlos Prates, I have a more complex analysis video on the channel, so check that out if you haven't seen it. But let's dive into this one. What do we have here? The durable, high-volume Jack Della Maddalena, always punching in combination, hard-nosed, brawling style of fighting. I think he can have serious success here if he closes into short range, bullies Carlos Prates in the clinch. That seems to be where you can get your most work done on Prates. But the more space that you give the Nightmare, bad things are bound to happen. Just ask Leon Edwards, headshot dead. This is such a phenomenal striking matchup. And what I'm really hoping here is for this one to just go 5 rounds. Obviously, that's probably not going to happen. These dudes are insanely dangerous striking threats, but I think it could be possible. And that's really what I'm hoping for, is because I want these guys to get experience and really earn that like #1 contender fight, because it'll make them ready for whoever the champion is at the time. If that's Makhachev, if that's Ian Gary, God forbid Usman gets the title again. Honestly, really, really gut-wrenching that one of these guys has to lose. You know, this is sort of bittersweet in that way, but let's dive into this main event. Like, comment, subscribe for more fight breakdowns and analysis coming your way. I'm ready to go into this main event with a clear conscience, all bias aside. The main event curse is back, so this one requires expert analysis and critique. Let's go ahead and bring up both guys' records here, just to sort of gauge their level of competition in the UFC, what matchups they succeed into, which matchups are problematic for them. Jack Della Maddalena getting completely neutralized and genetics mogged by Islam Makhachev is what it is, doesn't really apply in this matchup. Prates would also get done dirty by Makhachev on the ground, so not really relevant, but Jack Della Maddalena would probably also KO Leon Edwards. The wibbly-wobbly chin, getting rocked by Nate Diaz. I had my fun. I celebrated the win, but that's definitely a bit of an overrated win of Carlos Prates. Jack Della Maddalena has spent a career, almost half of his UFC fights are against just pillow-fisted, weak-striking grapplers, right? Avoiding takedowns and just cooking with his boxing. For example, Bilal Muhammad, Gilbert Burns, Basil Hafez, and Ramazan Emeev were constantly trying to take him down and suffered because of it. They got pieced up badly. And the 2 strikers that Jack has fought has been Kevin Holland and Randy Brown, who are basically the same height and reach as Prates, but do not have the death touch of a Prates. They don't possess the power or the danger on the feet to keep Jack off of them. Jack was all over those 2 because, like, Randy Brown just instantly surrendered to the cage and got clipped on his glass jaw and went down. That's not going to happen with Prates, okay? Prates, on the other hand, let's look at his record. First man to knock out Leon Edwards. First man to knock out Jeff Neal. Li Jingliang, the Leech, in his fancy suits. Carlos Prates in this matchup has the luxury of rinsing and repeating the same game plan that's worked for him so far, is keep guys at long range, hack at their calf, make reads, and detonate them out cold. JDM, this matchup's going to be a shock to him because it's the first time in Jack's career where he's at a massive power disadvantage. How does that affect the boxing game of Jack Della Maddalena? Will he be stuck out at long range just eating calf kicks, head kicks from Prates because he won't be comfortable crossing that line in the sand and really standing and banging with Prates? That's what's going to make this fight fun, is if Jack has the stones, the fucking Aussie grit to, really push this into like dirty boxing range, because that's where he's going to win. But Prates has been so good at being tricky, being evasive, chipping away at you, legs, body, and then studying you until the kill shot opens up. I will talk about the Ian Garry loss, though. Ian Garry did everything perfect when you really break it down. Ian Garry was constantly firing kicks into Prates to occupy his hands. Like, if you're defending kicks, you can't be punching. Also, if you're defending takedowns, you can't be punching or striking. So, Ian Garry with a genius game plan there. Can Jack replicate that? Because, if you're busy enough, you can tire out Prates, you can make him back down, and really punish his volume. So Jack's key to victory here is going to be pushing into short range repeatedly. He has to. He has no choice, because Jack Della Maddalena doesn't have the weapons, the long-range weapons, of a Prates. Jack has phenomenal multi-punch boxing combos, and it really ends there. And I think we're looking at possible bloodbath, fight of the night, and Carlos Prates winning by decision, because I do rate Jack Della Maddalena's toughness. He has a durability edge here. His defensive boxing guard is phenomenal. Meanwhile, Carlos Prates is sort of a hands-low, footwork and evasion type guy, so it could get interesting. I'm not saying Jack isn't capable of winning rounds here. I just think over 25 minutes, Prates will hit a flow state, land something big, after chipping away at Jack's legs with calf kicks, some good body kicks in there. Carlos Prates is going to catch Jack with a knee coming in or a massive body shot. I'm going Carlos Prates. Is there a chance Jack Della Maddalena gets the win? Of course there is. There are negatives on the side of Prates, alright? The only chance Carlos Prates loses this fight is if he gets robbed on the scorecards or dies from his impending lung cancer. So I'm going Carlos Prates. But mark my words, regardless of the outcome, enjoy this fight, soak it in, because look, all I'm gonna say, I'm not big on crapping on UFC matchmaking, but it's been rough the past couple of weeks, so I'm gonna enjoy this one regardless. The main event curse is back, but I'm going Carlos Prates by decision. I think he inflicts irreparable damage on Jack Della Maddalena here on home soil. Could even get the KO. I rate Jack's durability quite a bit, so I won't pick that. I will pick Carlos Prates to win a decision. I hate to break it to the Aussies out there, but this could look a little bit like Darren Till coming out to Sweet Caroline. Instead, it's Man Down Under, and he's brutally slept. That is also that is a likely possibility in the welterweight timeline, so buckle up for this one, folks. But judging how my main events have been going, now that I've said that, Jack Della Maddalena is going to come out and look like Tai Lung or like Prime GSP, so rip Carlos Prates. I think he wins, but we'll see what happens. I'm just happy to have this phenomenal of a matchup take place, and we get 5 rounds, so I'll leave the rest up to the MMA gods above. The crafty silver fox himself, Beneil Dariush, takes on the inventor of sex, Quilland Salkilld. Look, I've seen, over my years of watching fights, you guys, I've seen many prospects rise to the top this quickly, like Salkilld, just crazy momentum, crazy hype and aura, taking over the sport by storm. But this is a layup. In a weird way, this is a layup. Beneil Dariush coming off of like a 10-second KO loss to Benoit Saint Denis, where he had a horrible weight cut. That fight probably shouldn't have went on, because he got KO'd by air in that fight, and that wasn't even that long ago, dude. Quilland Salkilld has next-level power on the feet, and is a strong enough wrestler to, avoid the wizardry of a Dariush. Dariush is a phenomenal grappler, but Like, the only actual grappling masterclass of Dariush was maybe, like, I guess arm-barring Drew Dober or ripping apart the knee of Ferguson, but that's Ferguson, man. Quilland Salkilld is going to get this fight over and done with. Easy 100k performance bonus, like he's licking his chops at the chin of Dariush, because, look, man, I love me some Dariush. Me and him go way back, but I just don't see how he gets this done. His striking is very opportunistic. Like, Dariush used to thrive in a brawl. He KO'd the great James Vick. But now he can't afford to do that at all, so, because the durability's gone. I think Quilland Salkilld out-kickboxes Dariush with high confidence. But part of me does want to see Quilland Salkilld tested, because, look, part of me still loves the old dogs, the vets, you know, and I'd like to see these young whippersnappers tested. Quilland Salkilld is only 11-1 as a professional. Dariush does just mog him in experience at the elite level, but we got to look at where they're at physically. Dariush only getting worse, Quilland only getting better. So give me Quilland Salkilld in this matchup. And I think after this fight, Quilland will run into some serious tests, because it's no more Dariush's, right? We're talking like Gamrots, we're talking Benoit Saint Denis's, Destroyer of Worlds Paddy Pimblett. So after this, expect some serious tests for Quilland Salkilld. We'll see if he's proven and ready to climb lightweight, but I like that Quilland either goes like, he pursues a knockout really heavily and early with power striking, like over the great Anshul Jubilee and Nasrat Hakparas. They didn't last a round with Quilland. Or if he needs to, like against, I don't know why he chose to, like, grappling mastery over Jamie Malarkey. Probably could have slimed him out Roofy style as well, but yeah, Quilland either goes, like, kill shot striking or, like, marauding it, like, crazy takedown spam, great wrestling from Quilland Salkilld. That'll keep him safe from the BJJ of Dariush in this fight. Maybe Quilland will slip on a banana peel and end up with his back taken by Dariush. Then I think it's curtains, but if we keep this a proper, like, Aussie fisticuffs, it's Quilland Salkilld all day. So give me Quilland Salkilld by round 1, KO victory over Beneil Dariush. Next up we have flyweight veteran Giga Chad Tim Elliot versus Steve Erceg, Astro Boy. I'm excited to watch any Tim Elliot fight. Dude's been around forever. Tim Elliott's never managed more than a 2-fight win streak in his entire career. That won't start here. He's going to lose again. A constant win-loss, win-loss, win-loss merchant. His last 2 were pretty nasty. He's entered sort of his Unk era, born in 1986. So, still isn't a good look. He can be submitted as well. Mohamed Makayev, Brandon Royval submitted him with an arm triangle choke in their fight. And Figueiredo guillotined him. Crazy. I'm going to lean Steve Erceg, I think. Steve Erceg actually has a good amount of punch power for flyweight. He's been exposed for being a bit too slow, and was definitely rushed up the flyweight division a bit too quickly for, I think, all of our likings. Like Pantoja, Brandon Moreno, even Kai Kara France, they pushed him too fast. They gave him the Darren Till treatment because I guess they really wanted an Aussie prospect, but a matchup like this is definitely more Steve Erceg's speed. I think he's ready for a Tim Elliott test, having seen the former champions of flyweight, like those guys. So I think Erceg can sort of control the chaos that Tim Elliott brings, slow this fight down, and just dish out his striking, which is very textbook, very clean. I like Steve Erceg's technique. Steve Erceg has great fundamentals. He's well-rounded, whereas Tim Elliott, sometimes he's a bit too unorthodox to win rounds consistently. So I know he had an awesome finish over Kai Asakura by sub, one of the almighty fraud checks of last year. Tim Elliott destroyed the plot armor of Kai Asakura. I'll leave it that way. Patchy Mix was just a physical disgrace and had no stand-up, but I think Erceg struggles into power for the most part, right? Like, the way Kai Kara France just dealt with him, and, like, Kai Kara France is a bitch. He left the sport. Like, where is he at these days? Just, like, giving up your ranking, chucking away your momentum. He's going to come back rusty if he does come back. Give me Erceg, man. He's going to be one of these new flyweights that stick around in the top 10. And people forget, Tim Elliott went on some horrendous losing streaks at flyweight. 13 losses for him. Now I think the new generation, Steve Erceg, can control him, stop the takedowns, and just out-kickbox him on the feet. And returning, Shamil Gaziev. Bring out the blob. Ladies and gentlemen, Shamil Gaziev is back after a quadruple bypass to take on the surging Brando PERICIC out of City Kickboxing. 6-1 is crazy. Who was it? It was Jackson McVeigh, who was also 6-1 just last weekend, and I said that's just a little bit too inexperienced for me to be trusting. I know it's heavyweight. I know Gaziev is a physical disgrace and doesn't really have like an X factor to him. He's just an immense physical presence. He just size maxes you. He presence maxes you. He fills up the octagon so you can't operate. And I'll go with the experience of Gaziev. He actually slept Thomas Peterson with one punch. At the time, we didn't really rate Peterson, but now we do. He's a hustler, man. I actually like Thomas Peterson, the Train. I think that's his name. Hold me to that. Brando PERICIC, though, the Balkan Bear, it's tough to say. Part of me thinks he's sort of got an easy leg in because he's like one of Izzy's boys, but nothing against the guy. He's had a good debut, and his last performance over Sutherland. Sutherland's also a physical disgrace, but Gaziev's huge, man. Gaziev towers over Louis Sutherland, so give me Gaziev in a y'all must have forgot performance. They sort of rushed him as well. They sort of rushed Gaziev as well. He got rushed like Erceg. They gave him Rosenstruik and Waldo Cortez Acosta. So this is more his speed. Gaziev's gonna, shut this down, remind the world who he really is. We're going Shamil Gaziev by TKO. Up next is Tai Bam Bam Tuivasa on his 6-fight losing streak. Look, Tai Tuivasa, we love him here, but it's true that he's just full of beer and pizza, and it's hard to pick him to win fights. Look, Tai Tuivasa, is he a physical disgrace? Yes. Michael Bisping said it live on air as he's fighting Cyril Gane that he's full of beer and pizza. And normally you'd lose your job if you said such words, but, Bisping, was sort of right on the money there, in all honesty. So, Tai Tuivasa is actually a great striker, but the problem is, MMA, there's a lot of moving parts, okay? A lot of moving, cogwheels, and that's really all Tuivasa has, and he's been fighting good heavyweights, like Cyril Gane, Pavlovich, Volkov, even Rosenstruik, not bad. Taliesin Teixeira could go on to be something. Dude, Tuivasa's been fed to the wolves, man. People forget, so he's going to destroy Louis Sutherland, who, was real pumped up on regionals. I'm going to leave it at that. Not going to allege anything like steroids, but, maybe he was just taking an extra scoop of that, protein powder. Who am I to say? Louis Sutherland's cannon fodder. This is a manufactured Tai Tuivasa win. A big slimy KO coming your way. So go out there, Tai Tuivasa. You give that UFC Perth crowd a real show. Back up on that cage, doing a shoey. We will manifest it into the MMA heavyweight timeline. Tai Tuivasa's not done yet. He loves us fans, and he's not going to go out 0-7. That would be the worst thing ever to happen this year. So Tai Tuivasa by KO finish. Speaking of physical disgraces, Junior TAFA is a plant. This dude is 6-5 and still in my UFC. What is he doing here? I understand how contracts work and everything like this, but nobody's asking to see this dude fight since Walter Walker heel hooked him, had him squealing from that heel hook like the pig he is. Junior TAFA, the one time I pick him, he loses to Billy Elikana. There's no need to overanalyze this one. Breaking this down is a humiliation ritual in and of itself. Junior TAFA's probably going to win by massive clubbing overhand on the 6'7" Kevin Christian, who's, frail, got subs, obviously, because he's got these long-ass arms, so no doubt he's dangerous off his back, but you ain't moving right when you've got this build. At 205 pounds, this is a heavyweight frame. You're malnourished, Kevin Christian. We're going to go Junior TAFA again. He's not good, though, but he's being handed layups. Junior TAFA causes damage. Kevin Christian ain't built to take punishment. It is what it is. Give me Junior TAFA to be the hammer and take out the GOAT himself, Kevin Christian. Make no mistake, Gerald Mearshart III is just experience mogging the shit out of MALKOUN's career. Seriously, if this gets into deep water, folks, watch out. Lay the house on GM3, not financial advice, but he's the GOAT, okay? Has a win over Edmund Shabazian, who, look guys, could beat Brendan Allen, who almost beat Nasruddin Imavov, who beat Jared Cannonier, who beat Sean Strickland, who might beat Chimaev. So in a weird way, GM3 is the champion of middleweight right now. MALKOUN literally just Bilal Muhammad maxed his last fight against Torres Finney, who I picked, who, of course, after I picked him, has to just blow out his ACL, MCL. It's just the Activian effect. Give me GM3, though. He's the big underdog who's going to pull it off on this card. Jacob MALKOUN pushes a whole lot of wrestling, puts himself into grappling positions. He's going to fall right into the trap of the great GM3 himself. MALKOUN's bringing no striking power, no heat on the feet. He's got the titanium hip that knocked out Andre Petrosky, but that's all he's got. Fear old men in a game where they die young. Gerald Meerschaert is an absolute warrior. He's going to beat Jacob MALKOUN, and then he's fighting Izzy next. Aussie's own Cam ROWSTEN taking on Robert BRYCZEK, Polish Power. I really like Cam ROWSTEN, dude. He got horribly stalled out by Torres Finney on the Contender Series, and you know, some of us sort of forgot about him or deemed him as trash, but 3-fight win streak, dude. Knocking out Petrosky. I know that's super easy because he's glass-jawed, but ROWSTEN didn't dine out on that. Comes back in against Cody Brundage and gave us a banger. I mean, fought Cody Brundage the dumbest way possible. Made that fight way harder for himself than he needed to, but I still sort of rate it. He gave Brundage so many chances in that fight and still beat him. Exhausted Brundage, beat him down, TKO'd him. What has BRYCZEK done? BRYCZEK had a really greasy debut against Ihor Potieria. Dude, Potieria was fun. He invented the no-look backwards elbow. People forget. BRYCZEK just struggles with chaos. He really does. Like, a Brad Tavares win at this stage, who cares? Literally, who cares? Brad Tavares couldn't beat Eric Anders. Eric Anders operates on like a quarter speed, not even half speed. Quarter speed, Eric Anders hauled around Brad Tavares and beat him, so the only win of BRYCZEK is not looking any better. I'm going to trust in Cam ROWSTEN. It's his backyard. He's fun maxing. If you've seen his interviews, his post-fight speeches are great. Competent kickboxer. This could actually take fight of the night. This could really pop off. Maybe this one steals fight of the night if Prates just nukes out JDM, but I'm going to go ROWSTEN. I like what I've been seeing. BRYCZEK needs to do a bit more work on the proving grounds before I trust him. He is Polish, so maybe he nukes out ROWSTEN, who is sort of a string bean, but BRYCZEK is actually still really new in the UFC, and he's going to be undersized here against a young, dangerous kickboxer in ROWSTEN, so I'll pick him to win by just a crazy scrap. Probably a crazy scrap where both guys hurt each other, but ROWSTEN doesn't break in the later rounds. BRYCZEK will. Give me Cam ROWSTEN to fun max his way through this one and appease the Aussie crowd by 30-27 decision or a finish in the late rounds. Up next is the captain, Jonathan MICALLEF, taking on Themba Gorimbo. First of all, Jonathan MICALLEF, I was this close to picking him over Oban and Elliot. I was such a fence sitter in that fight, but we went with Oban due to experience and stuff like this, and he was looking good. That was a close fight, but MICALLEF pulled ahead in it, got the sub. It was brutal. MICALLEF's good, dude. Really, really big. Is a dangerous southpaw striker that does a lot of damage, and as we found out, can out-grapple you and submit you. Submission win over Oban Elliot is nasty. Even, what's his name? The Korean Tyson, Seokyoung KO, couldn't even submit Oban Elliot. I'll pick him to do the same thing here against Themba Gorimbo. I'm that confident with it. Themba isn't bad, though. Has a Ramiz Brahimaj win by unanimous decision. Nico Price decision. Takashi Sato decision. Okay, maybe he's not that good at MMA. Guillotine choke loss to AJ Fletcher, who is like a 5'4" welterweight. Yeah, I'm not going to be picking Themba in this one. Sorry, bud. The captain, Jonathan MICALLEF, will collect his bounty and get a submission win over Themba Gorimbo. Colby Thickness versus Vince Morales. Vince Morales has been in the UFC forever, since I started watching fighting. 2 runs, nothing but losing streaks. I don't know how he's here. He has 1 or 2 wins that sort of kept him afloat, but he's not good enough. His striking lacks any power whatsoever. He can basically only win fights when his opponent sabotages themselves. And you've been at Syndicate MMA for like a decade, and like this is how much you've improved. He's 3-8 in the UFC. 7 losses by unanimous decision is disgraceful. Like, I just think he's dumb. I think he's just a dumb fighter. Like, how can you be coached by John Wood for years and just show no improvement whatsoever? You're not UFC level. Colby Thickness, I was skeptical of him coming in. I thought he was literally just like one of Volk's boys and got like a free ticket into the UFC, and he did get dusted up by Alexander Topuria. Totally schooled. He looked boyish on the feet, little wimpy volume on display, got nothing done whatsoever. Power mogged by Alexander Topuria, getting power bombed, suplexed. So, the UFC did that one for the storyline. The Volk Topuria storyline completely backfired. This dude lost his undefeated record. And so the matchmakers were smart, and they gave him this Josias Musasa, random NPC out of the Congo. This guy missed weight and got submitted by the great Carlos Vera. Shades of Ryan Hall, Carlos Vera. So yeah, like, he got busted up by an actual prospect in the debut, way too big a step up in competition, and then Volk told the matchmakers, hey, come on now, what are you doing? And they gave him Josias Musasa, this random Congolese fighter. So I'll go with Colby Thickness. He talks a big game on social media, the prick, but he's got good volume, good footwork, but I don't know, man. I think this one will be a close decision because Colby Thickness is really boyish on the feet, no muscle definition, has a little bird chest. Vince Morales could cook, dude. He's a veteran. People forget, has a win over Amian Zahavi somehow, who's fighting O'Malley on the White House card. So maybe in a different universe, Vince Morales would be fighting O'Malley, about to get sniped out cold on the White House card. So interesting little prelim shitter. We're going to go with Colby Thickness. Wes Schultz versus Ben Johnston. Ben Johnston is just the Australian Sean Strickland. Like, look at this dude's face. He literally looks like Strickland if he was a proper hard Aussie lad. Wes Schultz is terrible. Got nuked out by Damian Penis. Wes Schultz has a couple early takedowns in him and then just crumbles. He's a good round 1 fighter. I'm going to go with Ben Johnston just because I watched one regional fight of his and he didn't gas out instantly. So I'm going to pick him based off of that. He'll kick off... He'll get the Aussie crowd on their feet, right? Nice and early into these prelims. He'll set the mood. He'll set the energy. Party time, Wes Schultz. I don't even know why he's here. He got a Suluev stretch. He pretzeled up this dude on the Contender Series, and that gained him some, like, fake aura. And got him onto the UFC, but his skills don't pay the bills, so I don't know why he's here. He's going to lose to the Australian Sean Strickland, Ben Johnston. Kicking off your prelims is Dom Mar Fan versus Cody Steele. Cody Steele had a great little banger with Rong Zhu, where he sort of got exposed for not being that decent of a striker. A lot of professional grappling in his past, but I'm afraid if he can't get it there in MMA, Cody Steele is going to get cooked on the feet by capable strikers. Dom Mar Fan, not really proven yet. He's been smashing up really like trash Asian regional talent on Road to UFC, which is a pretty cutthroat promotion. No, just kidding. Asian countries have a really, really weak regional scene, and Dom Mar Fan went smurfing, destroyed them all by unanimous decision. Total cakewalk. He's a good anti-grappler. He fought the Frogman, Sang-Wook Kim, all fear the Frogman. Dom Mar Fan had a really gutsy performance, like lots of high volume in the later rounds. I love to see that. He didn't quit. He pushed a high pace, fought through exhaustion. I like that. Earned himself a 30-27 win. I will go Dom Mar Fan over Cody Steele. I think Cody Steele is just fighting for fun. Had his little grappling career that went nowhere, and now he's coming to pick up some UFC checks. Fight of the night with Rong Zhu, where he's absorbing like 8 strikes per minute. So I'm going to go Dom Mar Fan to kick off these prelims and appease the drunken, rowdy Aussie crowd. And that about does it. All my fucking full-grown Aussies. Jack Della Maddalena versus Prates. Could this be like our version of Robbie Lawler, Rory McDonald, just welterweight blood and guts display. We need this. My MMA spirit deserves this. I've been put through the ringer with horrible main events, Gilbert Burns' retirement, eerie fumble, my boy Yusuf Salal losing. I can't take it anymore. Give me violence. Give me protest by KO. If we can get Quilland Salkilld, if we can get Steve Erceg, Shamil Gaziev, and my boy GM3, I will be a happy man. I can die in peace. As always, thank you guys for tapping into predictions. We have a big, sloppy Tai Tuivasa breakdown coming your way that you didn't think you needed. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all real soon.